SD. 2 It's 44,447 SD. 2 years ago, a cult called the Purity of Light devastated Nortender, believing they would usher in the return of a benevolent god. A corporal named Tahar put an end to their doing. You're Erev, a former general of the Nortandian army. As you spent the past 12 years stationed in Imperia, a country far from your homeland, the Purity Wars passed you by. You don't mind. You had your own shadows to chase. It's 44,447 SD. It's been 3 years since you lost your regiment and the Empyrean village, but the night...
What is this?
Dream, Erev, as I told you. You allowed...
But it looks nothing like the real...
Because your mind looks just like...
This way. Yes.
What are these?
Anchor points. Every portal you traverse As I said, this is because you're aware of the fact.
I see.
Let's be quick! Over here. Move in.
Creatures? What are they?
Symbols of your struggle. Just continue, General. Your memories will return the deeper you go.
I'm listening. Out of the way. Keep it up. What's this? Attack! Stay close. Over here. This is it. It must be done. Attack! Interesting. Keep it up. What do we have here? What's this?
Wait, I think I remember.
Who?
A local, I think? A villager.
General Era.
Yes.
Yes.
A small horde.
Oh, God.
I don't know. Either way, follow me.
Of course.
Oh, that's very kind of you. Thanks.
Out of the way. Yes.
What present? What did she mean?
A charm. It was a charm, some kind of Empyrean rabbit's claw.
Out of the way. What is it? This way.
Look out!
Move in. This is it. Let's be quick. This is it. It must be done. Damn it. Attack!
Guardians. These were Dawn Reapers. How can they be so close to the village already?
Probably just a scouting troop. Let's push on.
Stay close.
General. Mother?
He's serving in my division.
Oh, so you're the Nortandian general my son is...
Mother.
It's fine.
Well, we apparently the...
No.
But isn't it?
What's the second?
Well,
Another scouting.
yes, sir.
Well then, let me summarize. You were traveling with an Empyrean local named Tava, and were bound for her village Cavil, which you suspected the orcs were going to attack that very night. Most of your troops were already there, and you were about to follow.
Yes. We had to take out an orcish scouting party to get there.
A little time.
Move in. Yes? This is it. What do you need?
Chop chop, man. Let's get to work.
This reminds me, how come Nortander has a military presence in Imperium? I've been wondering about that ever since you came here.
It's a token of friendship between our kingdoms. Our country has been struggling with the Dawn Reapers for quite some time now. And when our queen offered to help, the Emperor accepted it.
I understand.
Over here.
Chop chop, man. Let's get to
She's
work.
ready to fire.
Go ahead. What do you need?
This so much to do, so little time.
I'm listening.
Building completed.
Yes, General? Do you need something?
No. We need to deal with that scouting party first.
I see. Guardians watch over your swords, General. Thank you for helping us.
All right, then. Let's get to it.
Building completed.
Chop chop, man. Let's get to work. So much to do. So little time.
take a second.
I feel like a lot of people are like super positive about this guy because like as soon as those videos came out about him talking about like the deportation.
Our provisions are running low. We need more food.
Ah, that should work.
Sorry, it's quiet.
They don't want to talk about. We will prioritize public safety threats and national security threats. Are you planning on deporting American citizens? No, exactly not. Look, the view is such a diamond and misfit toy.
Chop chop, man. Let's get to work.
President Trump has made it clear. We will prioritize public safety threats and national security threats first.
It'll only take a second.
There's over 1.5 convicted criminal aliens in this country with final orders removal that we're going to be looking for. There's thousands of gang members. There's illegal aliens we're looking for. Now, I'm going to say, if you're in the country illegally, you should be accountable. I won't feel comfortable if I'm in the country illegally. If I'm in some other country illegally, I'm not in the country.
Go ahead.
You shouldn't be comfortable either.
What is it?
Good. Time for a briefing.
Yeah, this guy is I wonder what what's actually going to happen, if he's going to be able to like deport all of these people or not. And then, oh, here's another one.
Run it again. And we know what happens to these children.
All right, everyone's armed and...
Music to my ears. Lead us, General.
At your command.
They've killed more Americans than every terrorist organization in the world.
Building completed.
They must be done.
That should work.
Attack! Get up. This way. Let's be quick! This is it. Damn it. Healing now. Yes. Out of the way. Stay close. Over here. Keep it up. Out of the way. Stay close. This way. Yes. Out of the way.
Criminals and gang members get no grace period. But while we're out,
Bro. Actually him. Oh my god.
It's 44,447 SD.
public safety threats and national security threats. If you want to self-deport, you should self-deport because, again, we know who you are, and we're going to come and find you. So if you want to self-deport, that's fine. But criminals and gang members, they get no favors from this administration. You came to this country legally, which is a crime. You committed crimes against the United States citizens, some heinous crimes. You get no grace period, so we're coming for you. But for those others, the non-criminals, you want to self-deport, I'm all for it. Because when they self-report, they can put their orders, put everything in order, their family business, if they got homes or whatever, they can put all that in order and leave with their family all together. It makes perfect sense for the ones that are not criminals and not violent.
How can you avoid getting separated? You can get deported together. Oh god.
How are they going to get home? How do they get home?
Yeah.
For the ones we're going to arrest, we're going to find an airplane and send them home. And the ones that want to go home on their own, they found their way across the world to come to the greatest nation on earth. They can find their way home. Either that, or I'll give them a free airline ticket that we put them on our airplane and we'll take them home. Either way, it's up to them. If we arrest them, they come on our airplane, Sean. If they want to go on their own airplane, I welcome them.
Oh my god. To that point, yes. Yeah, Borderzar is enjoying this so much. That's the thing, is you can tell that he's having a lot of fucking fun with this. Did you put him in a spirit? Let me see if I can find the other one. I think this one's fucked up, isn't it? Yeah, this one's kind of fucked up.
Sure.
Mr. Holman!
You work for me. I'm a taxpayer. I'm a taxpayer. You work for me.
Zero tolerance was interpreted as the policy that separated children from their...
If I get arrested for DUI and I have a young child in the car, I'm going to be separated. When I was a police officer in New York and I arrested a father for domestic violence, I separated that father
Mr.
from
Holman,
his
with
family.
all due respect, legal asylees are not charged with any crime.
You're into the country illegally is violation 8 United States Code 1325.
Seeking asylum is legal.
If you want to seek asylum, you go through the port of entry, do it the legal way.
Oh, man.
Probably not the right thing to say. But I was angry. Let me tell you why you're angry. Because you or no one else in this room has seen what I've seen in my 34 years. You didn't stand in the back of a tractor trailer shot my 19 dead aliens that suffocated to death because the smuggler didn't care, including a 5-year-old boy. What do you think his last 30 minutes were like? I was there. I seen it, I smelled it, I saw it, and I had a 5-year-old boy at the time, and it changed me for the rest of my life. I've seen people who couldn't pay their smuggling fees get stabbed in the face 22 times. 31% of women are being raped crossing this border. Children are dying. Cartels are getting rich. Why am I angry? Because you haven't done anything to fix it. Nothing.
Man. And you can tell that he's enjoying it, you know, like I feel like he's enjoying it now that he finally, like, they're going to appoint him, and there's basically going to be like, no, I can't see how they're going to stop this guy. This guy definitely hates his country. True.
Mr. Holman, do you understand that the consequences of separation of many children will be lifelong trauma and carried across generations? Have we not learned from the internment of Japanese Americans? Mr. Holman, I'm a father. Do you have children? How can you possibly allow this to happen under your watch? Do you not care? Is it because these children don't look like children that are around you? I don't speak.
There we go. Yep. Is it because you're a racist?
Get it.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever held a deceased child in your arms?
First of all, your comments are disgusting. I've served my country. I've served my country for 34 years.
I find your
This is out of control. I've served my country for 34 years, and yes, I held a 5-year-old boy in my arms. In back that tractor trailer, I knelt down beside him and said a prayer for him because I knew what his last 30 minutes of his life was like, and I had a 5-year-old son at the time. What I've been trying to do my 34 years serving my nation is to save lives. So for you to sit there and insult my integrity and my love for my country and for children, that's why this whole thing needs to be fixed. And you're the member.
We agree on that.
Fix it. This room has seen what I've seen in my 34-year career.
Very well.
Lifelong trauma and carried across generations. Have we not learned from the internment of Japanese Americans? Mr. Holman, I'm a father. Do you have children? How can you possibly allow this to happen under your watch? Do you not care? Is it because these children don't look like children that are around you? I don't speak it.
There we go. Yep. Is it because you're a racist?
Get it.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever held a deceased child in your arms?
First of all, your comments are disgusting. I've served my country. I've served my country for 34 years.
I find your comments
This is out of
disgusting
control.
as well.
I've served my country for 34 years, and yes, I held a 5-year-old boy in my arms. In back that tractor trailer, I knelt down beside him and said a prayer for him because I knew what his last 30 minutes of his life was like, and I had a 5-year-old son at the time. What I've been trying to do my 34 years serving my nation is to save lives. So for you to sit there and insult my integrity and my love for my country and for children, that's why this whole thing needs to be fixed. And you're the member.
We agree on that.
Fix it. This room has seen what I've seen in my 34-year career.
Very well.
No one has experienced what I've experienced. I've saw many dead bodies coming across this border. And you want to talk about the memo? This memo is one option to stop death. Not just about enforcing the law, stop death. If you want to legalize illegal immigration, good luck with that, because it's going to get a hell of a lot worse on that border. If you say, well, okay, from now on, there will be no consequence, no deterrence. It's not illegal to come to this country illegally. More families will come. 31% women would be raped. More children would die. We're a nation of laws. If you don't like it, sir, change it. You're the legislator. I'm the executive branch. And I've served my country honorably for 34 years. And I
think that what happened is that I don't understand why it's become like a legitimate position to think that illegal immigration is a good thing. But I think it's like one of those other examples of basically these opinions that I think that very, very few people actually think that you should get rid of borders or get rid of, like any sort of immigration standards. But what's happened is that I think that there's a lot of emotional arguments and emotional thinking Like, for example, like, if you look at, like, the way that this guy was talking, I think that basically everything that he was saying is built off of emotion, implication, and insinuation, right? And so I think people are kind of tired of being talked down to and being, like, emotionally blackmailed into having opinions that they know are wrong. And I think that's what's happened a lot, is that I think that people have had their viewpoints framed in a way that makes them look like villains. And at a certain point, if you do that to people long enough, people will just accept being a villain. It's an appeal to emotion. Yeah, that's basically what's happened. And I think that's why you're seeing such a huge pushback on it right now. Yeah, it's having empathy. Well, I think that the problem is that the empathy is one-sided. And this is the big issue, is that a lot of the people that ask for empathy, or they're like, oh, well, we want you to have empathy towards this, they don't have any empathy towards you. They're trying to weaponize your empathy against you to make you do things that they want you to do. It has nothing to do with empathy.
I'm the executive branch, and I've served my country honorably for 34 years. And I will not sit here and have anybody say that I don't care about children because you're not the same color as my children. Thank you very much.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I feel like it's so tiresome to hear stuff like that be said. So fucking tiresome. Weaponized empathy, absolute garbage? Yeah, I think so. People love being lied to. No one likes reality. People that are more rational are in the minority. I think that you're definitely right that it's two brands of, like, emotional behavior. But I think that after a while, people get tired of one of them. So the facts over feelings party got butthurt over being called mean words. Well, yeah, nobody wants to be called mean words and be categorized as something that they're not and be told that they're a bad person. Why would somebody want to be called that? Of course that would make people mad. Yeah, I mean, duh. Obviously.
Back to April 23rd of 2018, where there was an official recommendation to, quote, pursue prosecution of all amenable adults who cross our border, quote, illegally, even though this applied to legal asylum seekers in practice, including those presenting with a family unit between ports of entry in coordination with DOJ. Here is the memo that I would like to submit to the congressional record.
What is the date on that?
It is the memorandum for the Secretary from Homeland Security.
Date.
April 23rd, 2018, subject increasing prosecutions of immigration violations.
I didn't see this part.
Without objection.
And so I looked at this memo, and it seems like this is the source of it. And it seems as though, Mr. Homan, that you are the author. It says here from yourself, Kevin Mikulinen, and Francis Cisna. Is this correct? Did you sign the memo?
I'd have to see what you...
I'd be happy to provide it. And we'll provide it over, but I would like to note that here it says the official recommendation. There were 3 different options presented. The third included the option for family separation. This initiative would pursue prosecution of all amenable adults, including those presenting with a family unit. Mr. Homan, your name is on this. Is this correct?
Yes, I signed that memo.
So you are the author of the family separation
It's
policy.
been 3 years since you lost your regiment
You're not the author,
and the
but you
Empyrean
signed the
village.
memo.
Yes, a zero tolerance memo.
So you provided the official recommendation to Secretary Nielsen on family, for the United States to pursue family separation.
I gave Secretary Nielsen numerous recommendations on how
Over
to
here.
secure the border and save lives.
But it says here that you gave her numerous options, but the recommendation...
What's she trying to say? This is what's been, like, very prevalent, and I think that, like, it's kind of what I was saying earlier, is that I think that there is a very big culture of the emotional blackmail and the insinuations that I think people are kind of tired of, because they're very one-sided. So what she's doing is that she's framing what he's doing as like, oh, it's tearing apart families or something like that, when the logic
close.
is actually
It must
very
be done.
simple. If you commit a crime, and a person goes to jail, it tears them apart from their
Move
family.
in.
If you want to avoid that, don't commit crime. It's very simple.
This way.
Family separation is kind of fucked though.
What are these?
Anchor
The
point.
problem is that
As
how
I-
do you
I
solve
see.
that? How do you solve that
What's this?
without just simply not enforcing the laws? That's the issue. If you're committing crimes, like everybody knows coming over to the United States randomly is against the law.
Creatures?
They know that they're doing
What are
it,
they?
and they do it.
Symbols of your struggle.
Like, how is this our
Just
fault? How is
continue,
this our
General.
problem to correct?
Your memories will return the deeper you go.
It's not even a question.
Option 3, family separation.
What I'm saying, this is not the only paper where we've given the secretary numerous
Out of the way.
And so the recommendation of the many that you recommended family separation,
I recommend zero tolerance.
which includes family separation.
This is it. Patience.
Every U.S.
Not
citizen
yet.
parent gets arrested for raising a child.
That's it. And I think the reason why a lot of
Yes?
people like this guy is he's giving like no
What do we have
bullshit
here?
answers to questions that are very emotionally charged and emotionally loaded. And I think people are tired of having empathy weaponized against them to make them act against their own best interests.
Keep it up.
That's really what the issue is. And I think that
Wait.
there's a certain degree of,
A local, I think?
as I was saying, like emotional
villager.
blackmail that's used in
General
order to
Air-
get people
Yes,
like
I don't need
afraid
to
of
follow.
saying
Oh,
what clearly
that's
should
very kind of
happen,
you.
because
Thanks.
what should happen sometimes isn't a pretty thing. But the problem is that in a lot of cases, 2019, yeah, but what I'm saying is that this 2019
What present?
this event
What did she mean?
led to people being
A
fed
ring.
up with it. That's
It was a
the issue.
ring.
To a certain degree, yeah, absolutely. She's trying to frame it in a way that seems like he gave an order. He gave a
Keep it up.
recommendation, not an order. Yeah. It's also very straightforward answers.
I'm
yeah,
listening.
and I think that's another thing that people are doing, is that
What's
the way
this?
that people tried to dishonestly frame questions and frame comments in a way that's inaccurate.
Over here.
I think that the average person probably can't notice that, but there's a lot of people that do. And
Yes.
Look
out!
This is also, by the way, this isn't, I don't want anybody to think this is like a partisan thing. I think this happens with everybody.
This way. Out of the
Is
way.
that if you're reframing what somebody's saying
Patience.
in a way that is
Not yet.
inaccurate or unfair
What is
or
it?
misleading,
Yes.
I think that you are.
Yes. It must
There's
be
another
done.
component to this too, is that when you do that
Stay
to
close.
somebody, you also insult
This
the
way.
intelligence of everybody who's watching you do it.
Guardians,
Because
these,
what you're basically
these were
saying is
Dawn
that
Reapers.
you're
How can they be so
stupid
close to the
that
village
I can
already?
lie right in front of you
Probably just a
and
scouting troop.
misrepresent this,
Let's push
and
on.
You're gonna still go along with it. It's a form of strawmanning, so what you're saying is, yeah, exactly.
Zero
Keep it up.
tolerance was interpreted as the policy
General,
that
he's-
separated
well,
children from
but
their
it-
Get arrested
Yes, sir.
for DUI and I have a young child in the car, I'm gonna separate it. When I was a police officer in New York,
Somebody says what crime they committed, seeking asylum.
We
is
need to
legal.
gather more wood for
Well
that.
then, let me summarize.
and I arrested a father.
You
for
were
domestic
traveling with an
violence.
Empyrean local named Tava, and were bound for her village Cavil, which you suspected the orcs were going to attack that very night.
This is for
Most of your troops were already there, and you were about to follow.
8 United States Code
Yes.
1325.
We had to take out an orcish scouting party to get
You
there.
want secret asylum, go through the port of entry, do it the legal way. The Attorney General...
Our capital is under attack.
Okay.
Mr. Holmes,
I.
Attack!
please respect the chair and the authority of the
Would you like to
chair.
push
The
or
gentleman
change?
has expired.
I've asked you politely to let me go beyond my time.
Gentlemen,
You don't go beyond their
How
time.
come
Not
Northanger
the
has a
Tom Holmes.
military
You don't let me
presence
go
in
beyond
Imperium?
that time.
Mr. Holman, we have approved an agreement
It's a token of friendship between our kingdoms. Our country has been struggling with the Dawn Reapers for quite some time now. And when our queen offered to help,
who was
the Emperor
interrupted
accepted
by a
it.
protest. That is done with
I understand.
approval of the ranking member. Please respect the chair's authority. The
I respect the chair's authority, but the chair...
Mr. Holman!
You work for me. I'm a taxpayer. I'm a taxpayer. You work for me. I'm a tax...
Authority done with the approval of the ranking member. Please respect the chair's authority. The
I
gentlewoman...
respect the chair's authority, but the chair...
Mr. Holman!
You work for me. I'm a taxpayer. I'm a taxpayer. You work for me.
So much to do.
That's
So
because
little
after
time.
she get mad, yeah, they're getting real fucking mad about this. So yeah, that's basically what's going on. And yeah, I don't know what to say. The issue is
This
seeking asylum
will be
or
a
waiting for their time for
masterpiece.
what people consider illegal. In my opinion, it's like, I think they should just follow the fucking law, right? I mean, if you can come over without that being against the
that
law,
should
then
work.
yeah, it's totally fine. But I think that a lot of
So much
people
to
are
do,
tired
so
of,
little
as I
time.
said, the emotional blackmail.
Building
insinuations
completed.
That people are afraid of addressing legitimate issues because they're worried that, you know, they could get painted in a bad light by talking about it in a bad way. I would say that if you polled average people, like voters,
Chop, chop,
I
man.
think that
Let's get to work.
a super
Won't take
majority
a
of people
second.
probably support what he's saying and what he's doing. Like, if I
This.
poll it in my
Building
chat,
completed.
you're going to have most people in my chat that are going to say, yeah, we support him. Big surprise.
This.
Because everybody here is going to be watching, and they're, like, going to have my viewpoint, which is kind of like,
Go
I
ahead.
also support this.
So much to do.
So,
little time.
yeah, big surprise. But I'm talking about, like, in a general sense. I think this is something that many people most people agree. Illegal immigrants aren't committing crimes. Yeah, exactly. Them being here is committing a crime. It's that simple.
How do Democrats, and frankly, how does legacy media need to change the way it thinks about getting information? I mean, a lot of the voters who went out and voted for Donald Trump, that so many people are wondering what happened here, they're not watching, frankly, this show. They're not reading the New York Times. They're not consuming media that way. And
It seems that's the case. Yes, and this
Building
is true
completed.
to an extent that it was previously unknown.
the Trump campaign
Uh-oh.
found those voters where they live. So how do Democrats need to change the way they communicate to voters, if you think that's
Lay
part of the
everybody
problem?
off.
For sure. I mean, I think all of us have to come to grips with legacy media is just not as important as it thinks it is.
Fucking base. Oh my god. Is there a better way that you could say it? Abso-fucking-lutely. Yep. That's the truth. I think that a lot of people have grown to be very resentful of legacy media. I think that it's like very popular to hate on Fox News, like for example, because like they can be very blatant with their biases. But I actually think that all legacy media is completely biased and totally corrupt.
The barracks are
I
ready.
find all
Pick
of
up
them
your
to be
arms.
bad. And also, by the way, I think that in a lot of cases, the media for like alternative media is also biased. But the difference is that alternative media presents itself as a bias, whereas legacy media presents itself oftentimes
Chop, chop,
as
man.
we're
Let's get to work.
journalists, we don't have political opinions, we just tell you the facts. By the way, here's our propaganda. That's the issue. You know, old people still watch legacy media. Well, yeah, but what happens with old people?
It is to you, it is to me. It's a relatively small group of people who rely on us for their information. And you have to go into the world as it is, not as you wish it to be. And
that's holy shit. Yeah, exactly. So, wow.
Basically, the way people get information is shattered into 20, 30 different pieces.
Well, the reason why people aren't using legacy media is because people don't trust legacy media. Because legacy media has misrepresented so many
This
things
will be a
to where
masterpiece.
the accountability, or like not really accountability, but like the credibility is totally destroyed. And so because they don't have any credibility anymore, why would anybody watch them? It really just makes sense.
And so if you just look empirically at the numbers, Joe Rogan's more important than any of us. He just has a much bigger, hyper-connected audience.
The guy sighing in the background.
Has a much bigger, hyper-connected audience.
All right, then, let's get to it.
And he's
It'll only
right,
take a
though,
second.
right? He's absolutely accurate. And I find it to be kind of funny. Season Cope, yeah, they're fucking
Well,
pissed.
then.
And it's like, I would be mad if I was them too. But the thing is that, like, I think the problem is that there is such a tremendous amount of inauthenticity from legacy media that why would anybody trust them? And I think also, like, they take themselves very, very seriously.
That listens to his every word. So maybe listen to Joe Rogan and try to understand, like, what is he talking about? What are the guests that he has on? What are the issues that they care about? Realize that
and I think also, like, so when you think about like Comcast owns a media company as a strategic goal because this media company can help Comcast align itself better with achieving political goals. So the reason why I think a lot of these media companies are going to be losing a lot of valuation now is because it's very evident that many of these media companies were very outspoken and very against Trump. So if you have this machine and the machine is made to do something and you use the machine and it doesn't work, what does that make your machine?
Commander, we finished researching a new technology.
And I think that's what's happened. Is that now this machine and the use case of the machine is now put into
Our
question.
smiths need more iron.
And so whereas previously being able to control and have ownership of these platforms would more or less guarantee you a foothold or at least a platform where you could establish some degree of political control. If
Good.
you can't own that
Time for a
political
briefing.
control, then what value do these companies bring? What do these companies do? Nothing. And so, of course, why would they have any value? Do you think they're now the new Fox?
She's ready to fire.
What do you mean? All news companies are owned by people that the news company is going to act in its best in those
All right.
people who own
Music
them
to my ears.
in their best interest.
Lead us, General.
That's my point. So the value of owning a news company or a news station is, of course, yeah, you can make money with it, but on top of that, it gives you a form of power. But if that power is called into question because it was exercised and then ineffective, then the value of the company is less. You see kind of how this comes together? Comcast isn't calling the shots, let's be real. Well, somebody is. You know what? The news companies started pushing an agenda and not reporting unbiased news. They should have been taken off the air.
Our provisions are running low. We need more food.
Don't forget, all these companies are funded by pharmaceutical companies advertising
Let's
them,
be
and they're
quick.
about to theoretically go away when
They
Trump
must
takes
be done.
office. Well, that's what I'm saying, right? It's like these news companies, they have a vested interest in things going a certain way.
Attack! Patience! Not yet!
And also, the people that own
This ends now!
Commander, we finished researching a new technology.
Why the fuck did you spend $10 million on this just to lose?
Right-wing discord is now taking place on X. It's not Fox. X is what matters.
This way.
Now I wrote about this yesterday.
This is it. Move in. Stay close.
I think that's what happened. Is I think that they lost the trust of a lot
Let's
of
be
like
quick.
grassroots Republican conservatives
Patience.
when they got rid of
Not
Tucker
yet.
Carlson.
What is it?
And like, I'm not even saying it was a bad decision to get rid of him. I think they had to get rid of him because of that lawsuit, right? But at the end of the day, the effect was. And as soon as that happened, I think that they lost a lot of credit.
Our provisions are running low. We need more
Like,
food.
I feel like Tucker Carlson used to be like 80%
Out of the way. Over here. Healing now.
They killed one of our heroes.
Other than that, I basically never hear about Fox News. So yeah, they had to walk their talk. Sure,
What is it?
right? But I'm saying like, that's the outcome of it. This video explaining exactly this. Compare German
Go
legacy
ahead.
media.
Let's try
Yeah,
this
I
again.
don't know about German media, though. I'm not sure about that.
Out of the way.
Let's get this over with.
X is what matters. Elon Musk is now arguably the most powerful
I'm listening.
in the history of computing.
Maybe Rockefeller, maybe, but like, I can see that. I mean, obviously,
Give me a
Musk
moment.
has a massive amount of power. It's true.
Information flow. He controls multiple businesses. He has the president's ear.
You won.
Some newfangled organization to gut
Well done.
government
Now
spending.
let's not.
We've
General
seen a
Era.
person
Who are
with that
you?
kind of clout across
Private
those
Rogo.
sectors.
I'm the scout.
I think that we can
We're just
say
about-
that
They'll
we
notice
haven't
her.
seen
All
a
right.
person with that kind of
Alone?
clout
What
that's
about
as
the-
well
It's still dangerous.
I appreciate your.
Of course, General.
Be careful, son. I'm proud of you.
Like, Rothschilds or something like that. But like a lot of those
Don't be
people,
angry
they
with my
operate
son
in
for being
shadows.
so stubborn.
Whereas like with
He's
Elon
always
Musk,
been
he
like
just
that.
comes out and he's like,
A
yeah,
head to crush
you know,
trolls with.
we're trying to make this
That's
happen.
all right. He has a strong will. That's one of the reasons I
Real
promoted
power
him.
comes from is X. People thought he was an idiot when he bought X because he lost a lot of money.
This way.
He's got a lot of money, and now he happens to have the most powerful platform.
Man, There's somebody that got really mad at me for saying that.
What do we have
On the
here?
right, and politics is downstream
What
from
up now?
information.
So wake
And it's
up,
just a
General.
2 years later,
But, you know, you could say that
though no one told you the reason
whole
for
new
your
information
recall,
ecosystem out there. So for us, for you, for Democrats, for
I would have let you
Republicans,
sleep,
have to
but
understand
then you
that
started
now are
talking.
gonna have to
A nightmare,
basically
was it?
navigate 20 or 30 different parts
So
of
you,
the ecosystem
I can only
if you wanna
imagine how
connect
this must
with the
be for you.
American people.
One day you're in Imperia, the next you're on a ship back to Northander by order of Her Majesty. Quite the change of scenery.
I guess you could say that.
Just a stone's throw.
Ambassador! Ambassador Jarrus!
What's the matter?
Something's happening. We found a dead soldier in the woods. Someone must have...
Bandits?
I doubt it. All right, seems like the break is over. We need...
Who are you two?
These are the mercenaries we...
I'm flattered. Though we've been around for a while, I'm surprised you didn't notice.
What was your commander doing sauntering around the forest?
I don't know, but Reinhold has a reputation for being careless.
If not bandits.
Orcs, maybe? As I said, this stuff...
You're not a fighter, are you?
Your concern is appreciated, but actually...
All right. At your own risk. Can't the soldiers...
They could, but I'd rather have them protect the...
All right.
South, just a few steps from the road. We'll show you.
Daggers,
swords, everything for the wary traveler.
CNN also announced massive layoffs going potentially. The times are changing. Well, and this is like, remember what I said before about how like
You know how to
games
bargain,
media and,
don't
like,
you?
games journalism is like a mining
Stay
canary
close.
for like what's going to happen
Yes.
with all journalism, is because like
I am
You're
here.
a
now
chauvinist?
you don't need this like massive structure to communicate information anymore. You don't need that anymore. You just need a camera and a fucking an internet connection. That's it. And so now, and also mono opinion. I think people are tired of hearing. Basically, like people are looking for opinions that are, let's say, damn it, give me a minute. Let's say here and onward. But legacy media may only present opinions that are inside of this little square. And so what's happening is that as people are looking for opinions that are outside of what's presented in mainstream media, they're going to places that are outside of mainstream media. And so instead of looking at Fox News or like, let's say watching MSNBC, I bet there's a lot of people. This is actually, I think, what happens. I bet there are a lot of people who, instead of watching like local, or not local, but like, you know, mainstream liberal media, a lot of them probably go and they watch Hassan because they're like, you know what? This guy represents what I believe closer than what the media does. Why? Well, because they agree with him. And so it's simple. And they agree with him more than they agree with the legacy media. So what I think happens is the same thing with also right-wing people, is that they might not necessarily agree with Fox News, but they might really like Tucker Carlson. So what do they do?
Need me?
Well, they go even farther
What is it?
and they find him on these edges. And the issue is that the companies are making all of this fucking money, but they're really providing a very narrow viewpoint on the way things are. So, and yeah, I understand I mentioned Hassan, so people want to get mad about it, but I'm just using him as an example, okay? Like, hopefully you guys can understand that. Like, I'm using him as an example. Like, there's plenty of other guys that do commentary. Like, fuck, Central Committee. There are people probably that watch him because they don't trust mainstream media, so they're going to watch this guy instead. It's a very simple idea. Don't get too caught up on the individuals, right? And also people that watch...
Attack!
They're not watching me for this kind of stuff. But the fact is that a lot of people have...
Are you certain?
If I look at the amount of people that have been watching a lot of these videos for the election and stuff, and like different political stuff, it's been a crazy amount of fucking people.
This seems right.
It's been insane. I think this is going to keep
It's
happening.
them or us.
Also, another big
Good
factor
thing I
is
came
that
prepared.
No one here.
the amount
Farther
of
down
people
south.
that are watching mainstream media
I am
has
nimbler.
probably gone down even more than it was 10 years ago. And I think that because COVID, this is kind of what I think happened, is that COVID fast-tracked people's connection to the internet. And so because of that, you had effectively tons of people that were like the remnant legacy media watchers that were kind of forced onto the internet and onto digital platforms.
Not yet.
Go ahead.
And in a digital marketplace where there's no like advantage
Where
of,
to?
you know, you have a TV channel and the other person doesn't, or they're on the access channel for an hour a day and, you know, you're, you know, 24/7 broadcasting an entire channel.
All right.
This way.
Guess what? These people are going to come out ahead because they more accurately represent the viewpoints that other
All right.
people have. So
you know it.
Who watches TV anymore? Well,
At
and
once.
also it's true as well. It's kind of a morbid thing.
All right.
But TV watchers are oftentimes older people, and what do older people do?
Finally,
They die.
some action.
And so they're dying. Literally, legacy media is dying. And so you're seeing less and less people that have been brought up to turn on the television to find what the news is. And so, yeah, they're dead. And so guess what happens? Now there's way less people that are doing it, and even older people
Over here?
now. Like you saw this with like
Okay.
QAnon, for example.
I'll keep the
Older people,
bastards off you.
I would have never imagined in a million fucking years that there would be a huge
Stay
contingent
close.
of fucking boomers.
Oh, you're getting
sitting
a
there
good
reading
return on your
4chan
investment.
posts about Donald Trump being the
This is
president.
how it ends.
It's crazy.
Let
But,
us be
like,
quick.
Somehow they became 4chan users. Yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
this is it.
And so don't die.
Finally,
For
some action.
Right? But
Just
all I'm
what
really
I
trying to get
needed.
to is that
Finally,
a lot of
some
this
action.
stuff
It
that
must be
COVID
done.
too- Yeah, exactly.
On
And
your
so,
order.
Well, COVID moved a lot of people into digital spaces.
This
and
is
in
it.
those digital spaces, people like Joe
Arion
Rogan.
squills. Is this
Let's be
necessary?
quick.
Because people feel like, in general,
I'll
I think,
keep the bastards off
a
you.
3-hour conversation that Joe Rogan has with Donald Trump
Oh,
is
you're
going to
getting
be
a
more
good return on
insightful
your
into
investment.
who Donald Trump is as
Attack!
a person versus a 5-minute interview with Kamala Harris that's edited. Or with Trump that's edited. That's the reason why.
Consider
and
it
so people are
done.
looking for that authenticity because people usually look for news because they're looking for a way to like figure out what's actually happening. Is this true or not? And if it is true,
Out of the way.
fucking surprise, you're going to have a lot of people who are going to say, "Hey, listen, I'm going to pay attention to this more." Even Harris went off Howard Stern. Yeah, I don't. Howard Stern. Yeah, I don't know exactly. Or Theo Vaughn. Well, and you saw this before, and here's another big component to it as well. Joe Rogan even talked about this. This is like kind of a while ago. So he's clearly talking about why Kamala Harris podcast didn't happen. We'll go ahead and mute this real quick so you guys can listen to it.
The Joe Rogan experience.
These guys are coming here. I'm like, I love these guys so much. Too bad. There's nothing going on.
Well, I heard you might have needed to cancel on us to get Kamala Harris on.
I was not going to do that. I would have had to. I knew you guys flew from England, and I wasn't going to cancel on you because she had an opportunity to come. Someone's. You could look at this and say, "Oh, you beat it."
Do you remember how everybody was talking down on Joe Rogan? Like, "Oh, you think you're too good for the presidential candidate?"
I will follow.
Well, apparently he was. It's crazy, huh? How about that?
But she had an opportunity to come here when she was in Texas. I literally gave them no invitation. I said any time. I said she's done at 10 o'clock.
Damn it. Good thing I came prepared. Don't mess with the crowd.
I'll do it at 10 p.m. I'll do it at midnight. She's up. She wants to, drink a Red Bull. Fuck the party on.
Yeah, but I think this idea that you're being a diva is
Are
silly
you
because
certain?
You're asking her, you're offering her the opportunity to do exactly what the other candidate did, right?
Well, she actually reached out when she found out he was coming on. So their camp.
Of course.
Lead on.
What's this?
Yes? Want to trade?
Reached out to me. So I said, great. I would love to talk to her. But it was very difficult to tie it down.
I'm ready.
And they wanted to travel. And see, the thing is, like, you can't.
General?
If I go somewhere,
Yes.
then there's going to be other people in the room.
Yeah.
And they want to control
Come again.
a lot of things. I'm
May
sure,
Tiara
according to
bless your
the Brett
path.
Breyer interview on Fox. Like, people.
What's
were
the
waving them
latest?
off. That's a distraction.
What now?
People in the room. Like, my whole goal
See,
with her.
this
I'm
is,
listening.
This is the reason why people don't trust legacy.
Over here?
It's like all of these, like, people in the background.
Yes,
off
this seems
camera.
right.
Oh, yeah, like, what is this?
It's them
People don't
or
wanna
us.
deal with that. They don't want to see that. More sensational
damn
in the
it.
news, the acting crazy
And
behaviors,
definitely-
more money. Yeah, sure.
Someone surprised.
But who?
Are you okay with
And
this
where did they take command?
podcast guy having power to
For
decide for a
Rintoul!
country?
By the ambush! Defend
Better
yourselves!
question. Am I more okay with a single podcast guy having power to decide an election instead of a handful of guys that are nameless billionaires that also are doing the same thing?
Are
Yeah.
you certain?
I think it's pretty much the same. You're trading one over
See the beard?
for another.
I can handle it.
That's his show. Yeah. So, like, it's a false premise because the implication is that that's not what's happening right now. It in fact is. He didn't decide.
They killed one of our heroes.
That's a very good point. Is that
What do you require?
Need me?
Yes.
They're the ones who decide.
Yes. They killed one of our heroes.
Choosing to listen to a person.
We're not
having
healing now. General?
So it's not Joe Rogan making the decision.
I was thinking the same thing.
It's people.
Do you have
that
any?
are watching
We
Joe
aren't.
Rogan
Well,
that
to me it
empower
looked
him
as
to
though they
make
came
that
from up
decision.
north. Let's see if
It's
there
like
are more
a
of them.
primal and Final
And
Fantasy.
stay wary.
And with him, just talk. Just have a conversation like a human being. You find out things about people. You get a sense of them, at least, a real sense. That was it. I don't give a fuck what we talk about. I really don't. I just want to talk to you. Who the fuck are you?
Do you think they think that you're on his side and they're more wary of you?
I don't.
I think so. I think that's it. If I were them, I would be wary of that. I think they'd be stupid if they weren't. Honestly.
No, I mean, there's just because of my appearance, there's always been this assumption that I'm some right-wing MAGA guy. Just
white, bald. Oh. Say no more.
I was a Bernie supporter. You know, I am I'm a politically homeless person, for sure. You know, I always considered myself a left-wing person. I never thought I would ever vote right-wing. But then
I think that's the way a lot of people have had happen. Like, I've had friends of mine that were like these are people. Who was I fucking talking to about this? Fuck. It was like a real life friend because we were like driving somewhere, and so like I don't remember exactly. But anyway, I had friends of mine that I sat with them, and I watched the Obama inauguration with them together. I remember this so clearly because we had a class, like we had just got in to college and class ended at like 10 and we drove home back to my house and we all sat at my house watching the inauguration, right? And it was such a big fucking deal. And so those same people now are like, yeah, I don't know about like all this identity stuff. Like, what is non-binary? This is weird. Like, what's going on? And I think that's what's really happened, is that a lot of people that like, you know, self-identify, you can debate whether you think they are or not, but these people self-identify as a liberal, feel like they're getting pushed away from identity politics. That's what's happened. There's a bunch of 20-somethings turning into 30-somethings. It's called... So you think it's actually just us becoming more mature? I don't know, man. I really don't think that's the reason. But that's funny, though. It's definitely funny.
The tides of culture shifted in a very bizarre way. Yeah. And it just made me, over time, much more aware of what this stuff is really all about. Because what this stuff is really all about is just these natural human behavior patterns and these tribal instincts that we have. And it overpowers all discussions. It overpowers what's good for the collective group. It overpowers everything. It's just people pick a fucking team, and then whatever that team says, they can do no harm.
Now, I think that's a really great point. I think he's really talking sense here, guys. Yeah, bro, Joe is cooking. Man, yeah, true.
They will do their best to marginalize the horrible effects of the furthest extreme version of that, whether it's Antifa or the Proud Boys. They'll minimalize the... It's the same thing, man. It's the same. If you look at what's going on with the liberals right now, so progressives they want the war in Ukraine to be funded. They want to censor speech online.
That's why it's the most famous podcast ever. Well, it's because a lot of people... See, here's the issue, is that like, while extremist politics has kind of become the norm, the other problem that's happened is that in the process of extremist politics becoming the norm, what's ended up happening is that it's alienated so many people that all of those people that are now, you know, like what are you saying, like politically homeless, all of those people now are watching Joe Rogan. Now they're like, you know what? Like, I don't want to watch Fox News. I don't want to watch MSNBC. Both of these places don't represent me. They're both giving what I think is a biased take on things, and I'm going to start watching this instead. You think people are being pushed to an island somewhere towards the middle? I actually think that most people are towards the middle. Most people, I think, are primarily like kind of more libertarian. That's what I would really, that's my genuine belief. They don't really care about a lot of social issues as long as they don't affect them.
Now, which way?
They want to have, you know, they want to keep a lot of their money from taxes. They want to have minimal government intervention unless it's something that they have a problem with, like, for example, like food, etc., that I think most people are okay with. That's what I think, like, 80% of people are. Maybe even higher than that. They don't want to have, like, they don't want to hear about, like, some identity issue. They don't care about that. Doesn't have anything to do with them. They want to hear about, like, problems that are affecting them directly and how those problems are going to be solved. And I don't think that, like, like gay people, like, different races of people, different religions of people, all of these things are, like, imaginary issues for, like, 90% of people. These issues might get magnified in media, but the truth is that most people are of the live and let live type. And even in terms of history, if you look at it, there have been many cases of, like, societies existing with, like, different groups of people all in the society at the same time. And the way that it works is that they just don't fucking deal with each other. They ignore each other, and it's not a problem. So if you can just ignore these people and you don't get pushed with them, then it's not going to be an issue at all. Left and right should balance each other? Yeah. And I think that's actually where most people stand. They don't really, they are very socially liberal to the extent that it does not affect them. And I think that people are also socially conservative to the extent that they don't get taxed a lot of their money. And it goes about, like, what I was saying before, is, like, I think most people's politics are just basically what's in their best interest.
And they want to give the World Health Organization, which is deeply influenced by Big Pharma, including the FDA, deeply influenced, the revolving door between the FDA and pharmaceutical drug companies.
I think that he brings up a good point here. I'm pausing a lot, sorry. The reason why, I think COVID did, in my opinion, irreparable damage between, like, the people's trust of not only the media, but also the government. It was so fucking damaging, the way that COVID was handled, that it's so bad. How come? Well, so this is the reason why. It's that there were things that were stated, like, for example, like Biden saying, you know, if you get the vaccine, you won't get COVID, or something like that. If the president says that, and then it turns out to not be true, people are going to think that they got the vaccine for no reason, and they're going to be angry about it. And it was 2 weeks to stop the spread. It didn't happen. And I think that there was, and also, like, here's another really big component to it as well. Did he say that? Yeah. So, it's because they all did? Exactly. Fauci said that bullshit too? Well, yeah. And basically, that happened, and the big issue wasn't that they were saying it. That is not the problem. The problem was that they were saying it, and then they were enforcing people to believe it. And it was like the mandate for the vaccines, which was the problem. The COVID vaccine was fine. It's the fact that people felt like they had to get it for, like, a job. They lost their jobs. It fucked up their life. You know, somebody gets banned. Like, you can question, what, like, was September 11th an inside job? You can question, oh, wow, was October 7th, like, did Mossad know about it? Like, a lot of these, like, weird, like, conspiracy things, like, was JFK, like, you know, like, actually killed by the government? You can question all of this stuff, right? But you weren't able to question COVID. I think that damaged a lot of people's trust. And I think it did so in an irreparable way. And the way that I'm saying this, I hope you guys understand, I can see why they did it. I can see why it was a bad idea. I'm not trying to advocate that, like, oh, wow, COVID didn't actually happen or anything like that. What I'm saying is that these actions, this is the direct result of these actions. And this is how people perceived it. Like I'm ass. I don't think they knew, but there were signs. It doesn't matter whether they knew or not. The point is that people want the ability to discuss things, and if people can't discuss things, they're going to think that it's rigged. Do you think the lady won a lawsuit of $12 million because she lost her job because she refused COVID shot? No, I didn't see that, but I'm sure something like that has happened. But yeah, I think COVID was like a huge turning point where like a lot of trust for the media totally went down. And the government.
And they want to give them control over what we take and what we don't take. And that's crazy. And that doesn't make sense because that's not what the liberals were when I was a kid. My parents were hippies. You know, we lived in San Francisco during the Vietnam War. My parents were like straight up hippies. That's how I was raised. And so for me, it was always like the liberals were the ones who wanted education and open-mindedness. The liberals who were the ones with the ACLU let the Nazis talk and let them have a rally. They said you can't infringe.
Yeah, this is actually true. This is a good point. Is that the ACLU was less politically like captured, maybe like even 10 years ago. And that's the problem is like, and that's the American Civil Liberties Union. But I think that after, I would say probably like after Donald Trump and then after like COVID, I think that they got so ideologically captured that we lost a really important resource. Having a resource like the ACLU is like crucial to maintaining like the ability for people to have the right to free speech. And so the fact that they got, I think, like kind of ideologically captured it's a loss to everybody. It's a very bad thing that happened.
On people's free speech, because if you infringe on the speech of people that you disagree with, you're being a fucking hypocrite. You gotta, the only solution to bad speech is better speech. We've always known that. But when they had the power over social media and these collective groups of people.
See, he fucking knows. Yeah, exactly. It's crazy how everybody fucking knows this is what happened. But somehow people, like media is trying to pretend like that's not what happened. That's 100% what happened.
That all had the same ideology. And then that tribal mentality kicks in and you lose the perspective that you should have as an educated person that recognizes that everyone...
I don't think that it's only tribal mentality. I think that if you look back in history, you know, it's like what I said earlier, like the road to hell is paved with good intentions. A lot of the worst things in history were done by people who thought that they were the hero. Very rarely in history are there people who know that they're the villain and they're like, I am Dio Brando. I'm a devil and I'm a demon and I'm gonna do whatever I can to make the world feel my pain. That's usually not what's happening.
Has to be able to talk, and we have to figure out who's right. And you might be wrong. You might be wrong. And you might be clinging to this idea that you're right, and you're going to do the whole thing a terrible disservice.
Yep. I think that her not going on Joe Rogan was a massive fucking mistake. Like, gigantic mistake. Yeah, it only happens in video games, right? Well, what I'm saying is, like, that's it. Hitler believed he did a good thing? Well, of course. I mean, there's Hitler. There's people like, like, let me think. Like, I think Stalin probably, too. Like, Lenin, I would assume. It seems like, I don't know. Like, I mean, you can come up with, like, 50... Like, when we put Japanese citizens, U.S. citizens, in internment camps in the 1940s, we thought that we were doing the right thing. Slavery used to actually be reinforced by religious doctrine. People would interpret religious doctrine in a way that would justify slavery. Still, yeah, no, I'm saying like it still is. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is like all the time. It's been people have been doing bad shit for you know what they considered a good reason forever. Yeah, look at Manifest Destiny. There's another one, right? To watch the Dan Piers Morgan? No, I haven't seen that either. Can you explain? I mean, is it really a lot to explain? I feel like it's actually very simple. It's people do a bad thing thinking that they're doing a good thing. Like it's extremely fucking simple. I don't know if there's really much else to say about it beyond that. But yeah, I'll look at like maybe one more of these, and then we're gonna probably move on and look at some other shit too. The baddies mean. But yeah, anyway, I think it's really no surprise that that legacy media is dying. And I think it's going to keep getting worse too. Like now that, and this is what happens in a lot of cases, is that as soon as things begin to go down, things start going down even faster, right? Like they start circling the drain. I got COVID, had no taste for over a month. I took 4 doses of the vaccine, and I haven't been sick since then, not even flu. Even 4 years from now, my grandpa went to the hospital because of COVID. I'm not trying to argue about whether the vaccine was going to work or not. I'm not going to argue about this. Oh wow, was it good or not? Is the did the vaccine, is it good or not? That's not my point.
Shake it off.
My point is that the suppression of speaking about and having a conversation about it caused people to distrust the institutions that reinforce that suppression. It's very simple. It's not. This isn't an opinion. I feel like if you look at this, there's no way that that's not what's happening. CNN will axe top stars and layoffs. They'll see hundreds fired. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy. Wow. Anderson Cooper makes $20 million a year. That's crazy. Yeah, he's gone. I think what's happened is that now that like kind of people have seen that legacy media doesn't necessarily like work, the value is going down massively. And I wouldn't be surprised to, as soon as this starts happening, I think it is going to keep getting worse and worse and worse really fast. Yeah, hell yeah. But the mainstream media is dead? I think so. They're Pac-Manning out. Well, I feel like also there's going to be a lot of people that are going to stop paying attention to them because this is another big component. A lot of them were saying, I think it was at least on MSNBC, I had seen a bunch of different like things of them talking about like, oh, polling is showing this, polling is showing that. Well, if you constantly reference polls that turn out to be wrong, then that's going to affect your credibility. Well, people aren't going to trust you because you're saying the shit that didn't happen. It's not that it didn't work, it's that they know that Mark Zuckerberg and Elon aren't going to cater to their propaganda anymore. Yeah, I think that's also a pretty big component. Now the government special interests are going to start paying off streamers to push their propaganda there. Absolutely. And so, and this is another really big component. You should never listen to, like, for example, what I'm saying, or like Hassan, or Destiny, or anybody else, right? Like Joe Rogan, David Pakman, any of these people. You should never listen to anything that we're saying without taking it with a grain of salt. Because every single individual is going to be biased in one way or another. And you can't go and just listen to what people are saying without taking that into consideration. Yeah, everybody is going to have a bias.
Which way? missed it back at camp. Damn.
Over here. What's this?
Keep it up.
Damn it. Healing
Move
now.
They killed one of our heroes.
What now?
All right.
What is it?
Right.
You know it.
Got it.
Over here.
Is there something
Damn
you
it.
need?
Stay close.
Healing now.
Out of the...
Okay.
Yes.
I need help.
Just what I needed. Where are we going?
You're sure of this?
All right.
Yes.
That's me.
I am here.
Very well.
Ooh.
Let us be quick.
Got it. What is it?
Need me?
I'm ready.
It must be done.
Oh, you're getting a good return on your investment.
Arion's quills. Is this necessary?
Nihal's hammer.
Wait, we...
Crush them! Damn it.
They killed one of our heroes.
Healer! I need a healer!
On your order.
They killed one of our heroes.
I need help.
Where to? I got you. Stay with us. What just happened?
They killed one of our heroes.
2 years later, though no one told you the It's 44,447 Est.